Have you ever felt that nagging inclination, a subtle urge to soften your edges, to diminish your truth, to somehow become smaller, just to fit into someone else's perception of you? Perhaps to gain a fleeting acceptance, to avoid a potential conflict, or to secure an ephemeral validation. It's a common human impulse, deeply ingrained, yet profoundly destructive to one's inner peace and integrity. Many walk through life unknowingly sacrificing their authentic self on the altar of external approval, only to find themselves hollowed out, their self-respect eroded, their voice lost in the echoes of others' expectations. This subtle, pervasive tendency can lead to a quiet despair, a constant feeling of unease that something essential within you is being denied or suppressed. It's not just about what others do to you, but what you silently, almost unconsciously, do to yourself. This isn't about arrogance or defiance. It's about the quiet, unyielding strength of self-possession. It's about cultivating an inner fortress of dignity that no external force can penetrate, a self-worth so robust it renders the need for external validation utterly irrelevant. The Stoics understood this fundamental truth. Your value is not a negotiable commodity. It is intrinsic, inherent, and utterly untouchable by the opinions or judgments of others. They taught us how to stand firm, how to command respect, not through force or demand, but through the silent power of unwavering integrity. They called this state autarkia, self-sufficiency, not in a material sense, but in the profound internal sense of being enough, complete within oneself, independent of external affirmation. If you've ever felt the sting of compromise, the regret of having silenced your true self, or the weariness of performing for others, then this message is for you. We will uncover 7 profound Stoic lessons to ensure you never, under any circumstance, lower yourself for anyone ever again. Prepare to reclaim your sovereign self and live with an unshakable inner dignity that flows from your own virtuous character. Most people carry a hidden burden, a subtle, often unconscious habit that prevents them from fully embodying their true worth. It's not merely the act of being lured by others, but the insidious tendency to preemptively diminish oneself. This isn't just about outward actions, it's a deeply internal posture, a mental stance adopted before any interaction even begins. We do this in anticipation of potential judgment, disapproval, or even just a lukewarm reception. Before a word is spoken, before an opinion is voiced, we might unconsciously adjust our posture, censor our thoughts, dilute our convictions, or even soften our authentic personality. We act smaller, speak softer, or agree readily, not because we genuinely believe in the necessity of these actions, but because a part of us fears the imagined consequences of standing tall, consequences like social exclusion, rejection, or simply not being liked. This self-inflicted reduction is often a desperate attempt to control what we perceive as uncontrollable, the reactions and opinions of others. This habit is a subtle yet profound form of self-betrayal, a quiet abandonment of your authentic core. We convince ourselves we are being pragmatic, flexible, or polite. But in truth, we are eroding the very foundation of our self-respect. We sacrifice our inner landscape, our unique perspective, our firm principles, all for the fleeting hope of external acceptance. Epictetus, the former slave who became a profound Stoic teacher, constantly reminded us to distinguish between what is up to us and what is not. Our opinions, our impulses, our desires, our aversions, in short, everything that is our own doing, the choices we make concerning our inner life, is entirely within our control. The opinions of others, their judgments, their acceptance or rejection, these are not. They are external phenomena beyond our direct command. When we preemptively lower ourselves, we are attempting to control that which is fundamentally outside our dominion. We are sacrificing our inner world, which is absolutely ours, and the only true source of our freedom and dignity, for a perceived outcome in the external world, which is inherently uncertain and beyond our grasp. The lesson here is clear. True strength is not about bending to fit. It's about standing firm in your own truth, recognizing that your character and self-worth are entirely within your control and should never be offered for negotiation. This understanding, this unwavering commitment to your inner locus of control, is the first and most crucial step toward an unshakable self. Most people spend their lives reacting. Few learn the power of remaining calm, silent, and in control. If something in today's message resonated deeply with you, it's because a stronger version of yourself is trying to emerge. Thousands have already discovered the principles inside the silent power, and many say they wish they had learned them years earlier. Plus, 5 exclusive bonuses. The silent power reveals timeless Stoic lessons for mastering emotions, building unshakable confidence, commanding respect without speaking, and developing the mental strength that cannot be broken by criticism, rejection, or adversity. The question is simple: will you continue reacting to life, or start mastering it? Get instant access through the first pinned comment and begin your journey toward true self-mastery today. Following on from the hidden problem of self-diminishment, the common mistake that keeps many stuck in this cycle is the misguided belief that conformity or appeasement will genuinely earn respect or forge lasting, meaningful connections. It's a seductive illusion. If I just agree, if I just go along, if I just avoid making waves, then I will be liked, I will be accepted, and I will be respected. We tell ourselves these narratives believing that by blending in, we secure our place. Yet, the reality is often the exact opposite. What appeasement truly breeds is either indifference, a quiet dismissal, or, worse, quiet contempt. When you consistently alter your convictions, suppress your genuine thoughts, or betray your values to please others, you become an echo rather than a voice. You lose your unique resonance. People may tolerate your presence, find you harmless, but they rarely truly respect someone who lacks a firm foundation, who has no clear center of gravity. Genuine respect is earned by integrity, by having a discernible character and conviction, not by chameleon-like adaptability. Seneca, the Roman Stoic statesman, often cautioned against being swayed by the crowd and the temptations of popular opinion. He knew that conforming to external pressures, even seemingly minor ones, gradually erodes one's inner integrity and sense of self. If you wish to get rid of all worries, assume that what you fear is bound to happen, he advised. In the context of self-worth, this profound counsel means confronting the fear of rejection or disapproval head-on, rather than trying to placate it by becoming someone you're not. Seneca understood that true freedom lies in not fearing the worst, because if you can face it, it loses its power over you. When you constantly seek approval, you inadvertently communicate a lack of self-worth. You signal that your identity is negotiable, dependent on external validation, and thus, implicitly, that you do not value it sufficiently yourself. This paradoxically pushes away genuine respect, which is almost always attracted to authenticity and inner strength, not pliability or a desperate need to please. It attracts individuals who appreciate your truth, not your performance. Authenticity, even when it's challenging or unpopular, is the only path to earning the kind of respect that truly matters, the kind that comes from others acknowledging your integrity, your steadfastness, and most importantly, from yourself recognizing your own unwavering core. To mistake conformity for connection is to chase a phantom, always arriving empty-handed where true self-respect and profound connection should reside. While many intellectually understand the fleeting nature of external validation, few practice the powerful Stoic habit that truly liberates one from its grip, the memento mori of social approval. Most people apply memento mori, the contemplation of one's own mortality, to live more fully and urgently. The Stoic takes this further, expanding it to all externals, including the transient, shifting judgment of others. This is not merely an intellectual acknowledgement. It is a profound, regular, and active meditation on the inherent impermanence and ultimate irrelevance of others' opinions to your intrinsic worth. It is a spiritual exercise designed to detach your sense of self from the unstable foundation of public perception. Imagine for a moment that every accolade you've ever received, every compliment, every moment of praise, every fleeting surge of popularity simply evaporated, vanished without a trace, as if they never occurred. And conversely, every criticism, every insult, every moment of ridicule or rejection also dissolved into thin air. What would remain? Your character, your integrity, your actions aligned with your values, the choices you made, the virtues you practiced, the inner resolve you cultivated. This is the core of what Marcus Aurelius called your inner citadel. He understood that while the world might shower you with praise or cast you into infamy, neither can touch the fortress of your true self, your rational faculty, unless you permit them to breach its walls. The habit involves consciously observing your own mind when it craves a compliment, swells with pride from praise, or recoils with pain from a critique. In those moments, instead of chasing the praise or fleeing the criticism, you pause and reflect deeply. You ask yourself, this approval, this disapproval, how long will it truly last? What enduring impact does it have on my core principles, on my commitment to virtue? How much power am I allowing it to have over my inner peace and self-definition? By regularly contemplating that external validation is as fleeting and insubstantial as a passing cloud, a whisper carried on the wind, you cultivate a profound indifference to it. This indifference is not apathy or coldness. It is liberation. It frees your actions from the shackles of public opinion, allowing you to act solely in accordance with reason and virtue, guided by your own well-examined conscience. This consistent practice builds an unshakable inner calm, a quiet defiance born of self-possession that makes it impossible for you to lower yourself, because your sense of self is no longer connected to the shifting, unreliable sands of others' perceptions. To fully understand why we sometimes lower ourselves, we must examine the ego's mimicry of desires, a sophisticated psychological mechanism that tricks us into betraying our values. Our ego, fundamentally driven by self-preservation and a profound, primal desire for belonging and acceptance within the social tribe, constantly monitors our social environment with hypersensitivity. When it perceives a threat of rejection, disapproval, or even just a lack of attention, it can generate a false self. This false self is a mimic, a performer. It observes what it thinks others want, what it believes will garner praise or avoid conflict, and then it attempts to embody those traits, often at the expense of our authentic desires, deepest convictions, and genuine personality. It's a survival strategy, albeit a misguided one for true self-fulfillment. This mechanism isn't about malicious intent. It's a primal, often unconscious attempt to navigate the complex social landscape. The ego, in its protective function, interprets nonconformity as a risk to our social standing, and thus a perceived threat to our very survival or well-being. It whispers subtle, persuasive narratives in our mind. If you speak your mind, they might not like you. If you stand firm on that point, you might be ostracized. If you disagree, you could be alone. And so we assent to these impressions, as Epictetus would say, allowing them to shape our actions and silence our true voice. We might adopt beliefs we don't genuinely hold, laugh at jokes we don't find funny, agree to tasks that violate our boundaries and exhaust our energy, or even present a distorted version of our talents and passions. This isn't a conscious, deliberate choice to be insincere. It's a reactive impulse, an automatic, often deeply ingrained byproduct of the ego's well-intentioned, but ultimately self-sabotaging attempt to protect us from perceived social danger. By understanding that this mimicking behavior is an internal process, an automatic response generated by the ego's anxieties about acceptance and belonging, we can learn to pause, identify the false self taking over, and consciously choose to act from our authentic core rather than from a desperate, anxious need for external validation. Recognizing this intricate psychological mechanism is the crucial step to reclaiming your true self from the ego's pervasive and ultimately disempowering strategies. Most people spend their lives reacting. Few learn the power of remaining calm, silent, and in control. If something in today's message resonated deeply with you, it's because a stronger version of yourself is trying to emerge. Thousands have already discovered the principles inside the silent power, and many say they wish they had learned them years earlier, plus 5 exclusive bonuses. The silent power reveals timeless Stoic lessons for mastering emotions, building unshakable confidence, commanding respect without speaking, and developing the mental strength that cannot be broken by criticism, rejection, or adversity. The question is simple: will you continue reacting to life, or start mastering it? Get instant access through the first pinned comment and begin your journey toward true self-mastery today. The history of Stoicism is rich with figures who embodied this unshakable self-respect, refusing to lower themselves for anyone, regardless of the pressure. Consider Zeno of Citium, the very founder of Stoicism. Zeno was not a man of noble birth or striking good looks. He was a Phoenician merchant who lost everything in a shipwreck and found philosophy in Athens. He was known for his somewhat severe appearance, his quiet demeanor, and his simple, austere lifestyle. Like many philosophers, he often faced public ridicule, especially from the cynics, who enjoyed provoking him and mocking his seriousness or his foreign origins. Athenian society was often sharp-tongued and critical, and Zeno was an easy target for those who preferred superficiality to substance. One famous anecdote tells of a time when Zeno was being mocked and ridiculed in public. His detractors would often make fun of his humble origins, his foreign accent, his serious demeanor, or even his physical appearance, trying to elicit a reaction of anger or shame. A bystander observing Zeno's serene composure amidst the taunts and jibes once asked him, "Why do you blush, Zeno, when men speak ill of you?" This question implied a weakness, a chink in his philosophical armor. Zeno's response was profound in its simplicity and deep in its truth. "Because I am human, but I still refuse to flatter them." This seemingly simple statement reveals a powerful Stoic lesson that cuts to the core of self-possession. Zeno acknowledged his humanity, the natural biological reaction of embarrassment or discomfort that even the wisest among us experience. He didn't pretend to be impervious to feelings, nor did he allow his natural reaction to dictate his behavior or compromise his principles. He did not become angry or lash out, nor did he attempt to appease his critics by changing his ways or abandoning his philosophy for their approval. Instead, he simply, resolutely, refused to lure himself by engaging in their petty game, by seeking their favor, or by abandoning his commitment to truth and virtue. His dignity lay not in avoiding criticism or in suppressing natural human emotions, but in his unwavering, rational response to it. He demonstrated that true strength isn't about never feeling discomfort. It's about not allowing that discomfort to sway you from your chosen path of integrity and reason. Zeno's example teaches us that our inner worth is something we possess and protect through our choices and character, not something to be earned by appeasing those who would diminish us. His quiet refusal to engage was a powerful affirmation of his internal sovereignty. To practically integrate these lessons and fortify your inner strength, let's adopt a powerful daily exercise, the inner court, deliberation. This practice serves as a mental rehearsal, a conscious pre-paving, strengthening your resolve and clarifying your values before external pressures can even arise and tempt you. Whenever you anticipate a situation where you might feel tempted to compromise your values, silence your truth, dilute your opinion, or otherwise lower yourself for someone else's approval, pause. Don't wait for the moment of pressure, anticipate it. Close your eyes for a moment and vividly imagine an inner court within your mind. This is your personal tribunal of character. In this court, you are the defendant, and your integrity, your self-respect, your authentic self is on trial. On one side stands the advocate for compromise, the part of you that craves acceptance, fears rejection, seeks the path of least resistance, or desperately wants to avoid conflict. This advocate presents its case with cunning arguments, appealing to your insecurities. If you just agree, you'll avoid conflict and maintain peace. If you just go along with their expectations, you'll be liked and included. If you just keep quiet, you'll be safe from criticism and judgment. It will highlight all the perceived short-term benefits of lowering yourself, of shrinking your true self. On the other side of this inner court, imagine 3 venerable Stoic sages as your counsel: the emperor Marcus Aurelius, the statesman Seneca, and the former slave Epictetus. Now, present the case for upholding your integrity. Speak aloud, if you can, the values you hold dear, the truth you wish to express, the boundaries you need to maintain, the principles you stand for. Picture these sages listening intently, their faces etched with wisdom. Then, allow them, in your mind's eye, to render their judgment. What would Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher king, say about maintaining your inner citadel against the fluctuating tide of external opinion? About acting always with virtue? What would Seneca, the master of resilience, advise about living in accordance with your true nature and not being swayed by the crowd? What would Epictetus, the champion of personal freedom, remind you about what is truly up to you and where your true power lies? Listen deeply to their combined counsel, which will invariably reaffirm your inherent worth, the supreme importance of acting with virtue, and the emptiness of external validation. This exercise is not about imaginary conversations. It's about consciously engaging your highest reason, your logos, your rational faculty, to inform your choices and strengthen your will. By regularly consulting this inner court, you preemptively arm yourself against the subtle pulls of external validation, solidifying your internal compass and making it virtually impossible to compromise your true self when the actual situation arises. Practice this consistently, and watch your inner strength become unshakable, an unyielding foundation for your sovereign self. We have journeyed through recognizing the subtle, often unconscious ways we diminish ourselves, the common mistakes we make in seeking external approval, the powerful Stoic habits we can cultivate, the intricate psychological mechanisms at play, and the timeless examples of Stoic masters who lived these principles. Now, we arrive at the ultimate transformation, moving from being defined by external perception to being unequivocally defined by internal conviction. This is not merely about choosing not to lower yourself in isolated instances. It's about becoming the kind of person who cannot be lowered by any external force, because your worth is not externalized. It is the awakening to your inherent sovereignty, the profound realization that your value is non-negotiable, not contingent on any external opinion, acceptance, or validation. This transformation is the true liberation, the ultimate freedom from the tyranny of others' expectations. It means shedding the porous self, the self that allows others' views, judgments, or criticisms to penetrate and define you, and instead building an unshakable, self-possessed identity from within. You become the conscious architect of your own character, grounded firmly in your core values, crystal clear in your purpose, and utterly impervious to the fickle winds of public sentiment, praise, or blame. When you truly embrace this, you stop reacting to life from a place of insecurity, anxiety, or a desperate need to please. Instead, you begin responding with calm authority, with quiet confidence, and with unwavering integrity from your deepest inner core. This doesn't make you arrogant, aloof, or uncaring towards others. It makes you authentically powerful, a source of genuine strength and virtue. You command respect, not because you demand it, but because you embody it in every action and every decision. Your presence speaks volumes before you utter a single word, because your integrity radiates from you. This fundamental shift is the most profound freedom you can ever attain. You cease to be a puppet to others' expectations and opinions, and you become, unequivocally, the master of your own destiny, rooted in the immutable truth of your inherent worth and self-sufficiency. This is the essence of Stoic self-mastery, the silent power that allows you to walk through life with your head held high, knowing that your dignity, your integrity, and your true self are eternally safe within your own keeping. If you find value in these lessons, consider what specific situation in your life right now calls for you to stand a little taller, to speak your truth without apology, to assert your boundaries with quiet confidence. Share your thoughts in the comments below. Let us know how you choose to embrace your sovereign self and apply these Stoic principles. Like this video if it resonated deeply with you, and subscribe for more timeless wisdom to help you master your inner world and live a life of profound purpose. Most people spend their lives reacting. Few learn the power of remaining calm, silent, and in control. If something in today's message resonated deeply with you, it's because a stronger version of yourself is trying to emerge. Thousands have already discovered the principles inside the silent power, and many say they wish they had learned them years earlier. Plus 5 exclusive bonuses. The silent power reveals timeless Stoic lessons for mastering emotions, building unshakable confidence, commanding respect without speaking, and developing the mental strength that cannot be broken by criticism, rejection, or adversity. The question is simple: will you continue reacting to life, or start mastering it? Get instant access through the first pinned comment and begin your journey toward true self-mastery today.